The richest men saw the problem and walked away. The wisest men complained, but did nothing. Yet, one poor farmer stopped for a moment and discovered a secret that changed his life forever. Long ago, in a great and powerful kingdom surrounded by mountains and busy marketplaces, there lived a king who understood something most people did not. He believed that a person's true character is not revealed during comfort. It is revealed when they face difficulty. The king often walked among his people in disguise, listening to how they spoke, watching how they treated others, and observing how they reacted when life became inconvenient. One day, he decided to test the hearts of the people in his kingdom. Very early in the morning, before the market became crowded, the king called his strongest guards. "Place the largest boulder you can find," he ordered, "right in the middle of the main road." The guards were confused, but they obeyed immediately. Together, they rolled a massive stone into the center of the busiest road in the kingdom. It was enormous, so large that carts could barely pass around it. Afterward, the king hid behind thick trees near the roadside, where nobody could see him. Then, he waited. As the sun slowly rose over the kingdom, the streets began to fill with people. Traders pulled wooden carts loaded with fruits and cloth. Horse riders hurried toward the marketplace. Workers walked with tools on their shoulders. Soon, the first wealthy merchant arrived. He wore expensive robes decorated with gold patterns, and his horse was covered with beautiful ornaments. The merchant suddenly stopped when he saw the giant boulder blocking the road. "What nonsense is this?" he snapped angrily. He looked around in frustration, then carefully guided his horse around the stone. As he passed, he shook his head. "This kingdom is becoming careless," he muttered loudly. "What exactly does the king do all day?" The king remained hidden silently behind the trees. Minutes later, another important man arrived, with servants following behind him. The moment he saw the boulder, his face twisted with annoyance. "This road should have been cleared before sunrise," he shouted. Several people nearby nodded in agreement. "This is why things never improve," another man complained. But after all the shouting and blaming, none of them touched the stone. One by one, more people arrived. Some cursed angrily, some blamed the king, some complained about how difficult life had become. Others simply walked around the problem as if it was none of their business. The king watched carefully. Hours passed. The road became noisier and more crowded. Yet, the giant boulder remained exactly where it was. Not a single wealthy merchant tried to move it. Not one nobleman offered help. Not one strong soldier stopped to clear the road. Everyone saw the problem, but nobody wanted the responsibility. Then, sometime later, a poor farmer slowly appeared at the far end of the road. Unlike the others, he had no horse, no servants, no expensive clothes. He carried a heavy basket of vegetables on his back, tied together with rough rope. His clothes were old and dusty. Sweat rolled down his face under the hot morning sun. Every step looked painful. The farmer walked quietly until he finally reached the boulder. He stopped immediately. For a moment, he said nothing. He looked at the giant stone. Then he looked at the people struggling to squeeze around it. He watched an old woman nearly stumble while trying to pass. He saw carts almost tipping over. Children struggled to move around safely. The farmer slowly removed the basket from his shoulders and placed it carefully on the ground. Some people nearby stared at him curiously. "What is he doing?" One man laughed. The farmer walked toward the boulder and placed both hands against it. Then, he pushed. The rock did not move. He stepped back, breathing heavily. The people nearby smirked. "You'll never move that thing," someone mocked. But the farmer ignored them. Again, he pressed his shoulders against the stone and pushed harder. His muscles tightened. Dust rose around his feet. Still, the boulder barely moved. The farmer groaned in pain, but he refused to stop. Sweat poured down his face. His hands became rough and dirty. His breathing grew heavier. Again and again, he pushed with everything he had. People continued watching from a distance. Some laughed openly now. "Look at this fool," one rich man said mockingly. "He thinks he can move a mountain." Another man shook his head. "What a waste of time." But the farmer kept pushing, even when his legs trembled, even when his back ached, even when his strength began fading. He refused to quit. Then, finally, with one last painful effort, The giant boulder slowly shifted. The farmer gasped. Encouraged, he pushed harder. The stone rolled slightly. Then slowly, little by little, the massive boulder moved completely out of the road. For a moment, the farmer simply stood there, breathing heavily, exhausted beyond words. The road was finally clear. People could now pass freely again. But something strange happened. The same people who laughed earlier became silent. Nobody mocked him anymore. The farmer smiled softly to himself. He wiped the sweat from his face and turned to pick up his vegetables. But then, something caught his eye. Lying on the ground, exactly where the boulder had rested, was a small leather purse. The farmer frowned in confusion. Slowly, he bent down and picked it up. The purse felt heavy, very heavy. Curious, he carefully opened it. The moment he looked inside, his eyes widened in shock. Gold coins. Dozens of shining gold coins filled the purse. The farmer's hands began trembling. Never in his entire life had he seen so much money before. His heart started beating faster. Then, he noticed a folded note inside the purse. With shaking hands, he opened it carefully. The message read, "This gold belongs to the person who removed the boulder from the road." The farmer froze. The note continued, "Every obstacle carries an opportunity for the person willing to face it." The farmer looked around in disbelief. Behind the trees, the king quietly smiled. At that moment, the poor farmer understood something the wealthy men never did. The obstacle was never there to block the road. It was there to reveal the hearts of the people. The rich men only saw inconvenience. The angry men only saw something to complain about. But the farmer saw a problem that needed solving. And because he chose action instead of complaint, his life changed forever. The people standing nearby stared at the farmer in silence. Many of them suddenly felt ashamed. They had the strength to move the stone. They had the time. They had the opportunity. But they wasted it complaining. The poor farmer picked up his vegetables once again. But this time, his steps felt lighter. Not because of the gold alone, but because he had discovered a truth more valuable than money itself. Sometimes, the greatest rewards in life are hidden inside the problems everyone else avoids. Many people spend their entire lives complaining about difficulties. They blame others. They wait for someone else to fix things. They walk around obstacles and hope life becomes easier. But successful people think differently. When they see a problem, they look for a solution. When life becomes difficult, they keep pushing. Even when others laugh at them. Even when nobody helps them. Even when progress feels slow. Because hidden behind struggle, there is often opportunity. Hidden behind pain, there is growth. And hidden behind responsibility, there is reward. Years later, people in the kingdom still remembered the story of the poor farmer and the giant boulder. Parents told the story to their children. Teachers shared it with students. And many people began asking themselves an important question whenever they faced difficulties. Am I complaining about the obstacle, or am I brave enough to move it? Moral of the story: life often hides blessings inside difficulties. Weak minds complain about problems. Wise hearts solve them. Because sometimes, the obstacle in your path is actually the doorway to your breakthrough.